Okay, good afternoon students. In previous class, we were discussed regarding the chapter named Biotechnology Principles and Processes. Biotechnology Principles and Processes. In that particular chapter, we are discussed about the definition of biotechnology, was given by the European Federation of Biotechnology. Afterwards, we were discussed regarding the principles of biotechnology. Then we were discussed regarding the important what tools which are used in a biotechnology, like plasmid, restricted endonuclease, in the sense restricted enzymes, DNA ligase, host cell, in the sense host bacteria, E. coli bacteria. Okay. Then gene cloning, origin of replication, and all. And there, in detail, we were discussed about the tools in the biotechnology. Means biotechnology, restricted enzymes, two types of restricted endonuclease, exonuclease, endonuclease, palindromic sequence. After the palindromic sequence, what else we have studied? After the palindromic sequence, we have studied regarding the diagrammatic representation of recombinant DNA technology. Then we went for the separation and isolation of DNA fragments. There we were studied regarding the gel electrophoresis, the steps involved in the gel electrophoresis, and in gel electrophoresis, the matrix it is used, named as a agar gel, and the bands are visible after the staining of ethylene bromide, followed by the UV radiation, and the step regarding elution. Okay, definition of elution, that is the last step in a gel electrophoresis. Diagram for the gel electrophoresis. Afterwards, we studied regarding the cloning vector, and in cloning vector, we were studied regarding the features that required for the facilitating cloning into the vector. Those are origin of replication, selectable markers, cloning site. The next one is vectors for the cloning gene in a plants and animals. Here, important thing you are going to remember the diagram of a TVR322 and its explanation. Then you are going to remember the antibiotic resistance genes, ampicillin, chloramphenicol, tetramycin and garamycin. These are the important things you are going to remember. Then you are going to remember here insertion, inactivation, then T cells, in the sense tDNA. Okay, that is tumor, Agrobacterium tuminiferus. Okay, and TI plasmid. You are going to remember the TI plasmid, that is the tumor inducing plasmid of a Agrobacterium tuminiferus, right? Then we will discuss regarding the competent host. How we are going to make the host cell competent to take the DNA. I told you there the steps, divalent caption. Then next you are going to go for using the micro injections. Then next one is gene guns, or we are going to call that as a biolistics, and last one is the disarmed pathogen. These are the things we are going to remember in a competent to the host. Last concept we were discussed in the biotechnology principles and processes, that is process of recombinant DNA technology. In that, isolation of genetic material, next cutting the DNA at a specific location, amplification of a gene of interest using the PCR polymer chain reaction, insertion of a recombinant DNA into the host cell organism. Next one is obtaining the foreign gene product, and last one is downstream processing. In a downstream processing, separation, purification, then what we are going to call that as a separation, purification. Afterwards, you are going to go for preservative, in the sense using the preservative you are going to preserve the final products. Then you go for, if those are the drugs, you are going to go for the clinical trials. And next one is quality control. Okay, downstream processes and quality control is varies from one product to the another product, I told you. So these are the things, or this is the summary about the chapter regarding biotechnology principles and processes. Okay, now in today's class we are going to start discussing the next chapter of the same unit. Next chapter of the same unit. Next chapter of the same unit, biotechnology. That is biotechnology and its application. Biotechnology and its application. Biotechnology and its application. In the sense, still for so far we were discussed regarding the how we are going to make the rDNA, R plasmid, and how we are going to get the interested gene or interested protein. Now, where it means in what are the fields where we are going to use this biotechnology? In the sense, in today's class we are going to discuss the applications of biotechnology and its applications. Now here, you all know, using the biotechnology we are going to produce the things which are useful for the human beings by using the what we are going to call that one as a part or a cell or a what we are going to call that as the molecular analogs of the animals or organisms. Live organism, the analogs, molecular analogs, or a part of them or the cell we are going to use. Okay, and we are going to modify them for the usage of human beings. Okay, that these things we are studying in a what biotechnology principles and processes. Now in today's class we are going to discuss about the biotechnology and its application. Here what else you are going to remember, means we are going to study in the sense, using the biotechnology we are going to produce the biopharmaceuticals, biological using genetically modified microbes. We are going to make the genetically modified microbes, fungi, plants and animals. The applications of biotechnology including therapeutics in the sense we are going to go for the treatments, diagnostic in the sense we are going to identify the diseases and all. Then genetically modified crops for the agriculture. Genetically modified crop we are going to study in detail in this chapter. Okay, genetically modified crops for the agriculture. Process of food, remediation means remediations, waste treatment and energy production. In the sense, you can use the biotechnology in a different field like therapeutics, diagnostic, genetically modified crops for the agriculture, process of food, remediations, waste treatment and energy production. In this, we are going to go for discuss the critical research areas for the biotechnology. Critical research areas for the biotechnology are, first one is providing the best catalyst. Biotechnology, it helps to providing the best catalyst from the improved organisms, from the improved organisms like what? Improved organisms like microbes or pure enzymes. Microbes or pure enzymes. Microbes or pure enzymes. In the sense, the critical research areas of biotechnology. What? Critical research areas. Critical research areas. Critical research areas of biotechnology. Critical research areas of biotechnology. What are the critical research areas of biotechnology? First one is biotechnology providing the best catalyst. Providing the best catalyst. Sorry, this I am going to write on here. Providing the best catalyst from improved organisms like microbes and pure enzymes. Microbes and pure enzymes. In the sense, biotechnology provides the best catalyst from the improved organisms, whatever genetically modified or improved organisms in the ಯಾವ improved organism microbes or pure enzymes. Then they are going to, biotechnology is creating the optimum condition for activation of these catalysts. Activation of catalysts. In the sense what? Optimum condition through the genetic engineering for the act or a catalytic activation. Next, downstream processing technologies. Downstream processing technology to purify proteins and organic compounds. Okay. So, I told you the biotechnology in its application. Biotechnology, it is used for in the field of therapeutics, in the field of diagnostic, in the field of agriculture. Then I told you the biotechnology is used in a what? Food processes, bioremediations, waste treatment, energy product, etc. But the critical research areas of biotechnologies are providing the best catalyst, creating the optimum condition for the catalyst, downstream processing technologies to purify the proteins and organic compounds. Okay, these are the basic things regarding the biotechnology and its application. Now, we are going to go for one by one the field in which the biotechnology is going to use. First one is biotechnology applications in agriculture. In agriculture, how the biotechnology is used? In agriculture, biotechnology is used as an agrochemical based agriculture. Agrochemical based agriculture. Then biotechnology helps to organic agriculture. Biotechnology used for the organic agriculture. Then biotechnology used for genetically engineered crop based agriculture. Genetically engineered crop based agriculture. In the sense, through the biotechnology you can go for the production of chemicals, that is the agrochemical based agriculture. Then organic agriculture, in the sense by natural, used to manipulating the crops, and you are going to modify the crops, you are going to get the huge quantity of what we are going to call that as a yield. Then genetically engineered crop based agriculture. Genetically engineered in the sense what? We are going to alter the DNA and RNA. We are going to alter the DNA and means genetic material. We used to alter the genetic material of a crop, and we are going to improve the yield of a agriculture. That is what genetically engineered crop based agriculture. So here the biotechnology used in agriculture. And you all heard about the Green Revolution. By the Green Revolution, there is tripling the food supply. Tripling the food supply in the sense a 3-time food supply is increased. Okay, due to the Green Revolution. But in today's increasing population, population increase agayiti. For that, we have to need to produce more and more yield of a crops or a food crops. More and more food production. For that, we are going to use, we have to use the biotechnology. We used to have the biotechnology. Now, how this biotechnology helps to increase the food production, or in agriculture, how it is helps. Now, next is to go for the genetically modified organisms. We are going to go for the genetically modified organisms. By using the biotechnology, we are going to improve, or we are going to modify the organisms. Those are called as the genetically modified organisms. In the sense, plants, bacteria, fungi and animals whose genes have been altered by manipulation. Whose genes have been altered by the manipulation are called as genetically modified organisms. That is what GMO. Here, the genetically modified organism in the sense genetically modified bacteria, genetically modified plants, genetically modified fungi, genetically modified animals. All those are considered as a genetically modified organisms. Here, in agriculture, we are going to study the genetically modified plants. Genetically modified plants. And what are the features of these genetically modified plants? Okay, now you know about the definition of genetically modified organism. Genetically modified organisms are the plants, bacteria, fungi, and animals whose genes have been altered by manipulation are called as genetically modified organisms. Okay, and I told once again for your more clarification, genetically modified organisms in the sense they may be genetically modified plants, genetically modified bacteria, genetically modified fungi, genetically modified animals, and so on. Now we are discussing regarding the biotechnology application in the agriculture. That's what we are going to discuss the features of genetically modified plants. Now, genetically modified plants. If you are going to modify the plants by using the biotechnology, that time you are going to altering or a manipulation of a genes of a plants. Okay, that time whatever the plants you are going to get, genetically modified plants, and how those genetically modified plants are useful. Genetically modified plants. Genetically modified plants. What are the features or how the genetically modified plants are useful? Okay. Now, in which way you are going to modify the plants? By altering their genes or manipulating their genes. First thing is to make crops more tolerant to the abiotic stressors. Make what? Crops more tolerance, TOLERANT, more tolerant to abiotic factors. Abiotic factors or stresses. New stresses andre athwa abiotic factors andre. What are those? Cold, drop, salt, heat, etc. Cold, drop, salt, heat, etc. In the sense, if we are going to modify, genetically modified plants are made in such a way that the crops more tolerance to the abiotic factors. Made crops more tolerance to the abiotic stressors. Stressors are factors like cold, drought, salt, and heat. Another important thing is the genetically modified plants are reduce dependence of chemical pesticides. Depends on chemical pesticides, pest resistance crop. In the sense, these are pest resistance crops. Second, in the sense, if you are going to modify the plants, genetically modified plants, those are helpful for reducing ಅಥವಾ reduce the dependence of chemical. ಈ ರೀತಿಯ genetically modified plant ಏನಿದೆ, those are independent or they are going to reduce the dependence of the chemical pesticides. Chemical ಮೇಲೆ ಅವರ ಏನು ಬಾದ ಇರಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಅವರ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನ ಒಂದು ಯೂಸ್ ನಾವು ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾವು ಬೆಳೆಯನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸ್ತಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಈಗ ನಾವು ಜೆನೆಟಿಕಲಿ ಮಾಡಿಫೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಂತರ ಆ ಬೆಳೆಗೆ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಹತ್ತಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ reduce the dependence on chemical pesticides. Next, it helps to reduce the post harvesting losses. Help in reduced post harvesting losses. Post harvesting losses. Post harvesting losses or a harvest losses. HARVEST. Harvesting losses. Post harvesting losses ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? When we are going to used to get the yield. For example, I used to give you ಈಗ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಜೋಳ ಬೆಳೆಸಿರ್ತೀವಿ ಹೊಲದಾಗ, ಆನಂತರ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಜೋಳ ರಾಶಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ಎ ಹಾರ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್. ಹಾರ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ರಾಶಿ ಮಾಡೋದು. ರಾಶಿ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ತಂದಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ರಾಶಿ ಮಾಡೋ ಹೊತ್ನಾಗ ಅಥವಾ ರಾಶಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಮನೇಲಿ ತಂದಿಟ್ಟಾಗ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಏನು ಒಂದು ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ತೈತಿ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಬೇರೆ ಅವರೇ ಕೀಟ ತಂದಾಗ ಏನ ಆರ್ಥ್ರೋಪೋಡನ್ಸ್, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನೀವೇನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಈಗ ನುಷಿ ಹಾಕ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಏನಾರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಹುಳ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಆ ಹುಳ ಅಥವಾ ನುಷಿ ಹತ್ತಿರ ಏನಾಕೈತಿ, ಆ ಒಂದು ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಹಾರ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಹಾರ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟಾಗ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಏನಾಕೈತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಲಾಸಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ತವು. ಆ ಲಾಸಸ್ನ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತಂದಾಗ we used to go for the genetically modified plants, or the genetically modified plants are going to provide, or the genetically modified plants are help in reduced post harvesting losses. Post harvesting losses na kadime ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Then increased efficiency of a mineral usage. Increased efficiency of mineral usage. Increased efficiency of mineral usage by plants. By plants. So genetically modified plants helps to increase the efficiency of mineral usage plants. This prevents the early explosion of fertility of soil. And last one is enhanced nutritional value of food. Enhanced nutritional value of food. Enhanced nutritional value of food. Nutritional value in the sense vitamin A enriched rice. Vitamin A enriched rice. Vitamin A enriched rice. In the sense, in this way, what is going to happen? The genetically modified plants are going to made the crops more tolerant to the abiotic factors or stresses like cold, drought, salt, heat, etc. Genetically modified plants reduces the dependence on a chemical pesticides like the pest resistance plants. Genetically modified plants help in reducing the post-harvesting losses. Genetically modified plants increase the efficiency of minerals usage by the plants. Genetically modified plants are going to enhance the nutritional value of a food. In the sense, example is vitamin A enriched rice. Okay, this is about what the features you are going to get in a genetically modified plants. These are the features you are going to get the genetically modified in any plants or genetically modified plants. Now, by using the genetically modified plants, we are going to study in detail regarding the Bacillus thuringiensis BT cotton plant. BT cotton plant in the sense some applications of biotechnology in agriculture that will be studied in details are production of a pest resistance plants. Pest resistance plants in the plants itself, they are going to fight against the pest. Pest is nothing but any organism that is going to cause damage to the crop is called as a pest. And if the plant is developed itself for resisting the plant, means resisting to the pest, that is what pest resisting capacity. And we are going to use means these genetically modified plants are having the capacity to pest resistance. And for that we are going to study in this particular chapter the example of what we are going to call it as a Bacillus thuringiensis BT cotton in detail, how they are modified the pest resistance plant BT cotton, and that we are going to discuss in a next class in detail. So in today's class we are discussed regarding the critical research areas for the biotechnology. Then we have discussed the biotechnology applications in the agriculture. Then we have discussed about the definition of genetically modified organisms. Then here we have discussed about the genetically modified plants, the silent features or a significant features. Okay, with this I am going to stop here. I will continue with the BT cotton pest resistance plant in a next class. Thank you.